So I figured I'd take you guys into the forest this time to visit yet another topic of interest, and that is a little saying I came across not too long ago. I think it came out of the manosphere or something, so naturally it inspired a torrent of Trigglypuff to just go bananas on this shit. And the phrase is, men prefer debt-free virgins without tattoos. Oops. Pretty innocuous phase. You know, you think of it, well, okay, maybe that's a little extreme of a stance to take. I know it's 2020 and there ain't a whole lot of people without debt, never mind the other two qualifications. So you think to yourself, maybe one of those qualifications there might have to give or something, you know, given the state of the dating market for us these days. Not so from the Trigglypuffs. No, not a smidgen of sense to be had, I'm afraid. And as usual, we see the accusations of God, I don't know, whatever the Trigglypuffs of, you know, internet feminism throw at people who think of dating from the perspective of a male, and how they might seek their greatest benefit out of our current sexual marketplace, right? And I wanted to go over some of the thought behind that, because I mean, you guys know, men, that we're not, I mean, could you find a woman that meets those three things? Sure, you could, but most of us are not willing, able, or even willing to comprehend the scope of effort and time and money it would take to secure a match like that. So, you know, I'm not saying you got to go all out and secure for yourself such a unicorn. It is possible. Just be advised it's going to take a lot of work. So when it comes to the thought behind those three qualifications, virginity, no tattoos, and no debt, right? The debt one's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, despite the empowered women's movement, we're still, I guess in some respects, expected to fit the bill or foot the bill for our wives. And unfortunately, something we're seeing more and more of is a situation where, you know, these women are 27, 28, 29 years old and well into the five figures for student loan debt, which by itself, you know, in a vacuum may not be the worst thing, but a lot of these girls are getting degrees in the liberal arts. So now we're, you know, again, well into the five figures of debt for a degree that, I mean, hardly even qualifies you to flip burgers over somebody, you know, over somebody else. So it's like, you know, that's a situation where it's like, okay, you know, if that's the kind of arrangement we're looking at, I mean, that's a huge expense. Back in the day, it used to be the opposite. You used to get paid to take somebody's daughter as your wife, you know, and now you pay for it. So it's just interesting, right? So as far as the whole virginity thing, that's obviously a bit more contentious, and I think at its root comes back to the disparate mating strategies of human females and human males. So if I'm a guy, you know, there's a lot of time and investment I have to put into an individual woman, and ooh, nice view, and potential problems can arise if I put, you know, all this effort and energy into this girl, and she turns around and cucks me, which is to say, I can't get to it, but, you know, nice water view there. But anyway, so I'm, you know, let's say you get with this chick, right, having fun, la-di-da, whatever. Maybe she's the type, which, you know, not all that uncommon. Maybe still talks to her exes, maybe still hangs out with them, what have you. And a couple of years later, you find out, oh, well, Junior over there, yeah, he's not really yours. You think, what? You mean I got two kids with you that are mine and one that's not? I mean, you know, psychologically and emotionally is a huge disaster. And I could go on and on about the prevalence of cuckoldry and whatnot and its various manifestations, but when you are dealing with a woman that has a higher sexual partner count, you know, the likelihood of infidelity, along with a number of other maladies, increases. And we're beginning to see this, you know, borne out pretty substantively in the data, a lot more substantively than a lot of these made-up mental illnesses that people are, you know, such fans of. So the tattoos part, you know, I'm a bit on the fence about that one myself. I'll never get a tattoo. I don't appreciate them very much, I suppose. And I think what they're trying to say with this fine sloganeering job, if I may say so, is to highlight the kind of persona that you see, you know, with people that have tattoos. And again, you know, we're talking in broad brushes here. I get that, but you know, we all understand there's exceptions to these rules, you know, but to acknowledge those exceptions requires the acknowledgement of the rule itself. So, I mean, just ask any girl that's got dozens of dudes in her inbox on Tinder about how to sift through, you know, just the work that you have to do, the filters that need to be in place when you've got, you know, so many potential suitors to deal with. It's like, okay, well, you know, we got to have standards of some sort, which I guess is a topic for another time. So that's really where the whole, I don't know, I guess the push behind that phrase and the pushback as well is that there's not a lot of people out there that fit that bill. And I'm not trying to say that, you know, the men of today are some wellspring of masculine virtue. Quite the opposite, in fact. And I think, you know, women are quite justified in their, I guess, frustration in that regard, if I may suggest that is the case. And it's pretty fucking sad what's going on out there overall. So I wanted to throw in my 2 cents on that. And, you know, stay triggered if that's what you like. And otherwise, I look forward to any discourse that may come forth off this video. Also, let me know what you think of the setting. I'll get the setting is in, you know, everything around. I'll get a gimbal eventually, because I know this probably looks like shit, but, you know. Catch you in the comments, boys and girls.